OK, mate, let's move it to Anfield, where Liverpool faced Wolves today. Liverpool knew their lead was cut to 4 points with the Arsenal dramatic win on Saturday, so it was a Liverpool team that have usually taken care of business, but, you know, the late equaliser, we were doing the game in the derby, Arne Slot getting the red card. You know, his assistant getting the red card, Curtis Jones. People starting to say, oh, is this the first sign of a crack? Is this part of the blip? But off the back of FA Cup defeat and draw in the Merseyside derby. But back to business again for Liverpool. I kind of felt this was like Liverpool under Slot. Like, got the job done, wasn't super exciting. Football was good enough, got the couple of goals. Wolves got back into it, had a couple of hairy moments, but managed it and got the points. And something about this Liverpool team, in some sense, like, they do enough to win games, but they don't overdo it. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like they set, you know, let's see what this game's about. Oh, it's Wolves. Oh, we'll play this well, and that should be enough to beat Wolves. Now, early in the season, I thought the game management and the way they were doing things was excellent. Kind of felt like that's probably not been at the same level the last 3-4 weeks. There's been a bit more drama, I think, in the games than maybe Arne Slot would like, certainly in the latter parts of games recently.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would also say that the result against Wolves, huge. I think end of the season, I think they'll look back and say that this was arguably one of the biggest results, just because of all the emotions that are around. You know, we saw what happened at Everton, and, you know, the last-minute equaliser for Everton, or should I say into injury time, the equaliser for Everton. So emotionally, that would have taken a lot out of them as well. Obviously, what happened to the manager, his assistant, to Curtis Jones as well. Them to come back and then sort of not play great, but get the result in the end. You know, the 2-0 up, they're cruising, they bring Kwanzaa on at half-time, because I think it was a fear that Konate would get a second yellow card. And by the way, and you both hit on it as well, a simple fact, he was very fortunate that he didn't get that second yellow card in the first half. But I think it was a huge win for Liverpool because, you know, Arsenal put the pressure on them yesterday by winning at Leicester and going just 4 points behind.
I see 3 games coming up for Liverpool. Next Wednesday, they go to Villa Park.
Yeah.
They've got Manchester City, I think that's away at City, and then home to Newcastle in the next 3 games, I believe. I think 9 points in those 3 games, pretty much nailed on. I can't see them then dropping enough points that would give, if they got a 9-point gap, that would give Arsenal a point. I think this next 3 games coming up is almost like the season for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think, like you say, they win those next 3, that's it. I think it's game over. I personally think that it's too much of a stretch now, even for Arsenal to catch them. But if they can go to Villa, get a win, Villa's home form has been good. Manchester City, they're having a little bit of a resurgence at the moment, and Newcastle as well. So if they can get 9 points, as you quite rightly say, I think that'll be job done. Just
quickly on the Liverpool line, and back to us today in studio, like. Is there any worry around, or at what point does the 3 players out of contract have come into play between now and the end of the season? We know that Liverpool got Premier League and Champions League and a League Cup final to play. At some point, with contracts running out, you know, if these players are going to stay, you know, when are we going to hear about it? If they're not going to stay, are we going to hear about that as well? Or when does that come up? Does that play a part? You know, and you know, I'm of the feeling that Van Dijk and Salah, I think, might be close to doing something, or it almost could be agreed, and they're holding it back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think, is a different case, and I think that one might be something that they're come to live with and manage the media around him, that he might be leaving. But I can't see how, one, you would allow Salah to go, 23 goals, 14 assists, like, you just don't replace that. And Van Dijk, who was, again, magnificent, and when it was red hot at Goodison the other night, he was the calmest person on the pitch, including the manager and the Liverpool staff. So I just think those 2 are so key to Liverpool. Not that Trent Alexander-Arnold is not a great player, but I sense Trent going, and whether there'll be some kind of an announcement before the end of the season. I see the other 2 signing for me. How do you see the 3 of them?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously, he's homegrown, he's a local lad, and you think that may mean a little bit more. But you've not really heard anything that would suggest that he's staying. There's a little bit more that you hear about Van Dijk and about Salah. And those two are in a different place than Trent Alexander-Arnold in terms of their careers. The only thing is from an individual, the contract isn't sorted. As much as you want to be and as much as you are professional, in your back of your mind, you're always thinking to yourself, well, this is my last however many games it is at the club if there's nothing that gets sorted out, that gets figured out. And that will play a part, I think. But what we've said previously, when you talk about dressing rooms, this Liverpool dressing room looks like it's a really, really strong dressing room. And I think Van Dijk, Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold, they're big, big parts to play within that. So you would hope that the mentality side with that comes through and is fine. And, you know, it might be a situation where two of those three, the contracts are in place. It's just not been announced yet. We don't know yet, but it's not affecting them at the moment. And long may that continue for them.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, obviously, the backstory to Liverpool's successful season so far, obviously the three contracts that are up.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.